Hi, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching, doing the trade review for the 24th of June. It is Tuesday. Man, what a awesome day. We really, in my opinion, when I do this trading, and particularly when I do the live market preview and then I trade in the morning, my goal is to help other traders get better and to be better as individual traders. And sometimes that's hard when you're trying to give others insight as to the best way to handle trades. But I really felt like I accomplished a lot this morning by helping others sidestep getting crushed to the short side, and then helping them get set up with trades that would help them move back to the downside and help them make what I was hoping would be a considerable amount of money, and I accomplished those goals today. And so let me explain what we were looking at when we were coming in. First of all, early this morning I tweeted out that I was looking for a move out of balance. A market's in balance basically when it's consolidating for a few days. And generally the market will move in a series of in balance to out of balance and back into balance. So we were looking for a move out of balance. That means that normally those trades where I would take where I'd fade them, where I would fade the move early in the day, the risk of those trades failing becomes much higher when we're looking at a potential break out of balance. Okay, and so we were not looking to fade early in the day. The NQ opened and was extremely strong right out of the gate. I was looking to get long ES early in the morning, and I actually missed this 1950 entry. It actually gave me the entry I was looking for, and I was just a little bit slow in grabbing it out of the gate. You can see the live market preview. I posted it in the video right below here. So first of all, I don't chase when I miss a trade, number one. Number two, I don't get agitated either when I miss a trade, because I know if I'm patient and I just allow the market to set me up for whatever the next trade that comes up, if I take it properly and it falls within my set of statistics that I follow, and basically that simply means that I get a trade set up and I follow it, that I should be able to make money. And so all this week we've been simply focusing on taking one or two trades. I don't think all of last week we had one trade that was giving us difficulty, and that was basically shorting ES on the trap trade. That particular trade was accounting for almost 70% of my losses, and was causing me to trade pretty close to break even. So I made a simple adjustment. I just simply decided that on the trap trades in ES and on the fades at Globex high and prior days high, that I would not be fading those trades in ES. I'd be focusing instead on NQ on those setups. So today, the first job was to avoid getting crushed on the upside. We were looking for a move out of balance, and I had pointed out even that all that is required to get a move out of balance is this initial move. This move up accomplished that job. Okay. The next point of business, or important point of business, was, first of all, once we had gotten above Monday's high and held above Monday's high, was to see where the first hour high settled. And then I had stated in the morning, if we trapped below, but particularly on NQ, if we trapped below the first hour's high on NQ, that I would take a shot to the short side. That was the only other trade that I saw that might be available today, and if I didn't get it, I was fine missing it. So I want to show you this on NQ because it's important. So let me give it a second and I'll drag that over. So a couple things on the NQ chart when I posted them this morning in the live market preview. And the first one was this area right here. And I said, first of all, this is a very important area for NQ. I said, if we don't get above and hold above, that this would form a potential trap from traders earlier in the week and would provide a location for a push lower. Okay, so what I was targeting first of all was the gap and go right out of the gate on NQ. I had posted that we essentially had an open drive higher on NQ. So that told me immediately two things. First of all, don't press short side on ES because NQ is leading, right? And then the next thing I needed to see was that I needed to either see NQ get back below this point, right, or back below this point. Well, we cleared above this 37.97 and a quarter, so I knew immediately to take my hands off the shorts because NQ was leading, and then I was able to patiently wait. This is the first hour high of the day. And the trap set up when we closed, actually the trap set up right here. I actually took the trap a drop early. I took it on this bar here, so I guess technically I anticipated the break and took it a bit early. I believe my entry was 38.20 3/4 was my entry into the short. So I took it pretty much as soon as this bar closed right here. And so I scaled some down into this move the first time down, and not quite half, because I got filled on a little bit at 38.12 1/4. But the first thing was ES at this point of the day, right? If we look at 12 o'clock, ES has already failed at this point. Let me show you the. Okay, so if you look over here, ES has already fallen below, right, its first hour high. The key to that was that because NQ had the strength, I wanted to make sure that the leader had also gotten trapped. Instead of going after the weaker of the group to judge whether it would be able to pull down, since NQ was the leader, I couldn't rely on ES to pull NQ down. I had to see NQ get trapped first. So I waited, and then I took the trap in NQ because it was simply giving me the better position. Also, you got to remember, even though I saw the trap set up in ES has been the trade that's been giving me, that's accounted for the losses that I have had. ES has accounted for the majority of those on the short side, right? The long side has been fine. So I stuck to my trade plan. I took the NQ short instead of the ES short. However, I also knew better than, because of this trap, not to look to the counter trade on ES to the long side until we had rotated down significantly. So first of all, after the trap, this zone, if you look here, busted fairly easily, which is rare. Okay, but not that rare over New York lunch. I keep emphasizing this 11 to 12 spot right here. Okay, and this came just after New York lunch. This is the time of day when zones tend to get busted, and I tend not to trade over this New York time. This is Central Time, 11 to 12. So New York lunch, you're open to more, you're susceptible to having moves that you wouldn't plan on having prior, because you'll notice afterwards in this 12:30 to 1 o'clock spot, all the zones on ES actually reacted perfectly. As a matter of fact, if you took the trades, meaning the first time we touched the top of the zone, each time you were actually able to acquire a 2-point rotation back up for a profitable trade to the long side even in the afternoon. I did not take these trades because I was focused on the short side. On NQ, I really felt I'd kind of nailed that short side move. So I guess my point to this is twofold. First of all, we haven't been forcing our hand to the short side over the last couple of days. We've generally been getting at least one trade a day for a profit, right? And then today, when all the pieces fell together, right? We didn't chase up here, we didn't get frustrated, and there was no hole to dig out of. We've been adding chips almost every single day for the past week now onto the table. So when we saw this set up, when we saw this trap occurred, and then we rolled over to NQ, right? And NQ gave us confirmation that the trap was in play. We took that short. It gave us a roll to the downside. Now I got to tell you, when we came back here, I was covering into this 3802 because I actually expected responsive buyers at this point. When we broke below, I knew the market was actually in quite a bit of trouble. I think my last cover was actually at 37.96 right in here. The market needs to get, for tomorrow, it needs to get back above this 37.97 1/4 is actually a pretty key area. And if you'll look back to the left on the chart, you'll see why. And I think that's going to make a lot of determination as to whether or not we have a downside trade tomorrow or we maintain this upward momentum. So the one thing that I am very grateful for, and I'm a bit tired, but I think I'm saying this properly, is number one, we had rotation expansion on ES. That is really big. We've been stuck in these little 3, 4, and 5 point moves. The very fact that we have in ES over 10 points of movement intraday is huge. It means that we should be able to go back, and even our shorter time frame trades should start paying us again. That's great. Number two, we're not digging out of a hole, right? We've done a great job, at least the guys that have been in the live market preview, and for most days here, although I won't maintain that pace, I have been going into the first hour of trading, and we've pretty much been able to rack up at least one winning trade every day, and I don't think we've had any losers over the past week, and that is also supported by my win ratio, which tends to be well above 70% the gross majority of the time. Okay, and then the last piece that we're set up for, right, is this now means if the range is expanding, that you've got to be careful. If you've been taking ES trades with 3.2 and 3-point rotations, you are very much set up to get smoked in a new environment where the range now goes to 10 to 15 points. If that is truly going to be the new range day in, day out, I'm certainly hoping a little bit of fear comes into the market. It'll make life a lot easier on every good trader out there, because ES was almost dead to me there for a little while. It had gotten so difficult to trade. The last piece, I do not expect a straight down day tomorrow. It could be a trend day down, but I really expect, if you look, has been the nature of this market for the last 6 months, to provide responsive buying opportunities from rotations lower, particularly at the traps. So I'll be covering that in the live market preview tomorrow. Just keep your head about you and don't be in a rush. And also don't, while I'm hoping that the range is expanding, I'm going to wait till the market proves to me that that range is in place. In other words, I'm still going to be slow to get overly aggressive. And also, I'm still going to be hesitant to take those small rotations. I want to see larger rotations. I think tonight will be the first night. We'll see if we can get some European participation. Those guys have been, I assume, drinking and watching World Cup soccer, because they have not been participating. ES has had barely any overnight range at all. So hopefully a 5 to 7 point range would be helpful overnight out of Europe, and would certainly help us set up a better day for tomorrow. And then NQ, right? I'm still looking for responsive buyers and the proper size rotation to get good trades out of that. So I haven't done an evening trade review in quite a while. To sum up, because I don't want to stay on too long, right? The key of the day was, first of all, was recognizing that we were having a move out of balance and not standing in the way of that move out of balance, even though I was unable to get a long position to the upside. Secondly, and very importantly, right, recognizing the trap and accepting. Now, I want to point something out. I took this short right in here, okay? And it's really important to recognize the only reason I was able to take this trade was because I have the statistics backing me up that says that even if this particular trade failed, right, that overall, if I take this trade 10 times, I should get paid somewhere between 7 and 8 times out of 10, okay? That puts the odds hugely in my favor, and so I don't have to know that this one particular trade is going to work, and I think that's really important. So many traders are so concerned about their stops getting hit, they don't see them as an asset, they see them as a liability. So many traders are trying to force the trade to work every single time, that this one trade must work, that they never let a series of trades work in their favor, and therefore they never get to grow their account. Every guy I've coached, once they can get past worrying about the stop, and once they can get past worrying about any one individual trade and understanding that it's about the series of trades, I have not had one guy fail to make money. Even the worst trader I've ever worked with has been able to go from frustration to profit. And that is a huge, huge, huge deal psychologically, okay? And it's the whole reason why I'm doing this. And again, I want to stress, it's not because I saw this one trade that I had a monster day, okay? The reason why this day was a big deal for me and for my trading clients, for those who caught this trade, even for those who didn't catch this trade, right? Even for the guys who did not take this short in this area, okay? Almost no one got crushed. And let me tell you what the big advantage has been. Every day we've been able to throw about, on average, one winning trade, okay, per day. And we've had almost no losers at all over the past, let's go back 5 to 7 days now, I want to say. Okay, so every day we've been adding on. We didn't get smoked. We didn't chase. Okay, we maintained our discipline and we've maintained our structure. So when we come in tomorrow, right, there's no hole to dig out of. Today, for those who got the trade, it just added a huge, big pile of money on top of what has already been a consecutive winning streak, right? They're not digging out of a hole. And then the last piece is when they come in tomorrow, they're not worried about whether they get a trade or not, whether it's one trade or two trades, or whether that trade will stop them or not, because they know they're going to take every trade that sets up that's within their trade plan, right? They're going to be able to take that trade without worrying about whether that one trade works, and they're going to make the law of averages work in their favor. So at any rate, I hope I was clear. I'm a little bit tired. It was a huge day, but the biggest action that led to that huge day was simply not getting frustrated in here, recognizing that we were moving out of balance, and then waiting and seeing and saying, well, maybe they'll give me a trade here later in the day. But you know what? I would have been just as satisfied with this day if I did not get that trap trade, even if I just ended the day completely flat with no trades. You want to know why? Because I view the market as an endless stream of opportunities. I have about 5 trades in my back pocket that I can pull out on any given day, and I know that those trades will pay me. Additionally, I trade additional markets like CL and GC. And so as you grow as a trader and as you grow your statistics, you should be able to grow your portfolio of trades, meaning not just diversifying by different markets, but also diversifying by trade type. So anyways, my name is Simon. I'm with Trade and Perform Coaching. I try to do as good a job as I can to help traders go from being either losing traders or break-even traders to consistently winning traders. You can reach me at tradeandperform@gmail.com. If you would like a trial, a free 7-day trial, 5-day trial, 1-week trial to the live market preview, simply send me an email at tradeandperform@gmail.com, and that's tradenperform@gmail.com, and I will be happy to extend a 1-week invitation. It's $95 a month, folks, and I'm pretty sure it pays for itself in spades. So anyways, everyone have a great night. If you have any questions about anything that's in here, feel free to post it either through Twitter, StockTwits, or send me an email, and I'm more than happy to respond. Everyone have a great night, and we'll talk soon.